Garrett Show, talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educate and entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.
And now, welcome to the Nate and Garrett Show. Prepare yourself to be transported to the furthest reaches of reality. As the hosts unravel the mysteries of the universe, the depths of the deep state, the truth hidden in plain sight, all while bringing you the news from this week. Please welcome your hosts, Nate and Garrett.
Hey, the Dukes are trying to corner the market.
They know something. I can feel it.
Let's get in on it.
Moving! Not yet. Almost.
140.
Hey, to me. Minneapolis.
Now.
South on in April of 142!
That's not right. How can the price be going down?
Something's wrong. Where's Wilson?
What are they doing here?
They're selling, Mortimer.
Well, that's ridiculous. Unless that crop report...
God help us.
I told you we shouldn't have committed everything, you asshole!
I gotta get Wilson and tell him to sell.
Wilson, where you going?
Oh, you idiot. Get back in there at once and sell.
But
Happy New Year!
Winthrop. Valentine.
Hey, how'd y'all make out today?
How could you do this to us after everything we've done for you?
Oh, see, I made Lewis a bet here. Lewis bet me that we couldn't both get rich and put y'all in the poorhouse at the same time. He didn't think we could do it. I won.
I lost. $1.
Thank you, Lewis.
After you.
Certainly.
Hey, everybody. Hey,
Dude, how great is that scene?
that's such a fun movie, too. That's
Yeah,
an
it is.
awesome one. Hey, do you remember what the name of the writer and director is of that? Do
No,
you remember he did a documentary
not really.
back before he died? You were big into
Oh
it.
my God, it's that guy. It's
That's the guy, yep.
What's his name? Aaron.
He died
Aaron
not
Russo.
Yes. What's the name of that documentary? Everyone should watch this. The first half is kind of...
Freedom to Fascism.
That's right. First half is a little bit dry, but the second half is really good stuff.
Dude, I forgot that was the same
Look at
guy who
Rotten
did Trading
Tomatoes.
Places.
Look at Rotten Tomatoes there. You know, Rotten Tomatoes has got such a giant liberal bias. We got 95% of Google users like it. 8 out of 10 in IMDb, which is pretty good because it's a political / conspiracy theory thing.
Oh, it's such
And
a
the
great
field,
documentary.
it looked like the top documentary film to give it high ones, but of course, piece of shit.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes gives it nothing.
What, do they work for the Federal Reserve? Why do they care?
Anything
Yeah.
not mainstream liberal is just bad. They talk about the Federal Reserve and why the Federal Reserve is bad, why we have to be careful. So of course they're going to hate that. They talk about big government and why we have to be careful. Of course they're going to hate that. But
It's funny that you remembered that he is the guy who wrote and directed that movie. That I forgot completely that he had something to do with Trading Places.
I think he might have wrote Trading Places too. I can't remember.
I don't know, but it's a great movie, and
yeah, it's really good. Pretty poignant. I mean, really, it's a good. You can tell they dumb it down for the average person because stocks get dry and boring and very, very complicated. But that's a pretty good one to kind of help explain what the hell's going on right now. But really, in a nutshell, I think today might be one of the most important days in history. Looking back, I think this is when the whole financial industry changed.
I hope so, man.
Today,
I think you might be. I think you might be right too.
It was kind of interesting. Because, we've made a lot of calls in our show financially, and a lot of them have been very right. When Bitcoin was $42,000, we said sell. When Twitter got rid of Trump's account, we said sell. I can't remember which other ones. We've had a lot. One of them we said the market's going to tank.
Yeah.
And other than about a handful of stocks, it tanked today. On top of this,
how bad did it tank? Do you know?
Really bad, I think.
So like the whole market except for GameStop,
and this handful of meme stocks. That's really what they are. They're meme stocks.
I love it.
And it's kind of funny now because usually when the market tanks, the little guy gets caught holding the bags. People's retirement gets crushed. People's personal accounts get crushed.
Yeah.
And I mean, the last time we had the big financial meltdown, the average person, not the average person, people lost their houses. I mean, they lost everything. I know people that killed themselves over it. I mean, it was just a terrible, terrible time. But the elites, the billionaires and these big investing firms, they make money when on the way down.
Right.
Because they start shorting it, which causes it. And for people that don't know, when you short a stock, you're basically saying that stock's going to go down. It puts selling pressure on the stock and it causes it to go down faster. So while the average family is losing billions of dollars, trillions,
everything, their life savings,
these scumbags are making money,
profiting off it,
while the average family is just hurting.
Yeah.
You'll hear, and they do a good job of pitting us, Republicans versus Democrats. They do a really good job of pitting us against each other, and that's not an accident. They're doing that so the class warfare doesn't break out. And we're not talking about the people that broke their backs working really hard to go and amass a bunch of money. We're talking about the pieces of shit at the top that manipulate the markets, that basically are bleeding the average family dry in the markets.
Yeah,
and they make it so hard to go against them that then you start giving your money to stockbrokers and they take a commission and they take a fee to run it. And then it just turns into your retirement is where your stock is, because nobody's taught people how to trade stocks. And then when that goes down, these guys are buying their second yachts and stuff like that. Right.
And there's tons of barriers to entry so that the regular guy can't do what these evil bastards in Wall Street can do.
And, one of the first things that was the easiest entry for the average person is a Robinhood stock. And when that came out, these big guys at like CNBC and all these stock analysis you see on TV, they were against it. They act like, oh, people are going to get hurt. People are going to get crushed in this. And it's already, before this week, it's already changed the market. I mean, look what it did to Tesla. Look what it did to the other kind of more hip stocks that the old dinosaurs like Warren Buffett said, these stocks are going nowhere. But they went 10, 15, 20 times value.
Right.
And a lot of the younger generation was in on that because they could see, oh, Google was going to go up. Oh, Apple's the company. Oh, Tesla's the big company. That sort of thing that the big gurus missed.
Right.
And a lot of that was from Robinhood. And nobody's laughing now. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, a lot of people are crying.
Laughing. Yep, a lot of people are crying now.
They're crying and they're trying to change the rules.
Yep. For the first time, maybe in history, the retail investors, like the small investor, like you and your parents and your friends, you're considered retail investors because you're not a giant capital group, that sort of thing. for the first time ever, they might be sticking it to that investing class. And it's just hilarious to see.
I love it. I really do. I hope these hedge funds go out of business,
And a lot of people were kind of feeling bad for the hedge funds. Don't. They were short selling the shit out of GameStop. And look, GameStop. They've got
GameStonk.
GameStop. They've probably got to restructure their business model right now. Everything's going digital. I think they see the writing on the wall. There's still going to be a big opportunity for them. But just like every single business, you're going to have to change or you're going to be left behind. And usually in the normal market, you got the time to see where the winds are blowing. You have time to change. But now, like, look at what happened to Toys R Us. It's kind of the same sort of thing. You start getting a ton of short sale pressure. People start piling on, not the average person, because you talked about it being the portal of entry being tough. The portal of entry from buying a stock to short selling is a mountain. I mean, it's way harder to get into that.
Right.
So it's the very tip-top billionaires, the Melvin Capitals, the Citrons. Those are the guys that are short selling GameStop, causing the stock price to go down, causing stores to close, causing people to lose their jobs, and eventually causing people, the average person, to lose money that have GameStop.
Right.
And GameStop is in people's mutual funds and stuff, so it's hurting the little guy when they do this.
Right.
But you don't hear anybody talk about this. Nobody.
And they're artificially manipulating the value of the company by short selling the shit out of it, and and they destroy the company. You know.
Not only that, they get basically insider info because they're at the top. Because by the time a normal investor reads something, let's say 5 years ago, by the time you read something, even if you think it's hot off the presses, it's already too late.
Right.
Another one is kind of like weed legalization is getting big. You see people wanting to get into like, oh, weed's going to be legal here. I got to start selling. You're probably already too late. The big dogs already did it. They're already ahead of that. They probably had a lot to do with influencing, getting it legalized. And with stocks, it's way worse because it's so much, the portal of entry is even higher there and everything. So it's so much worse. So then you'll see like a Citron short sell, and then you'll see the big other hedge funds follow along and do the same thing. And they're just piling on. And in GameStop, what happened was there was like 150% was shorted, meaning they short sold more stock than was physically there.
Right.
I mean, they're assholes. That just shouldn't be. There's some countries that's illegal. I mean, there's a lot of places that's illegal. They're looked down on.
So they do the shady shit, and then it comes up bad for them. Yep. And now they're crying, and they're trying to change the rule, and they're saying, "Oh, you can't do that." It's like
in the kind of the short selling is dangerous to begin with, because in general, if a company survives, the price goes up. And a lot of that is these companies are innovating, they're evolving. Not only that, we have inflation, especially now when there's just trillions of dollars being printed. Most stocks go up. So you're kind of going against inflation, you're going against time. But like JCPenney, you see JCPenney, you see them trying to innovate, and they failed. They failed to innovate. And so they went under. And I don't know if they're traded probably overboard now. They took a chance and it failed. So there is definitely money to be made. But the thing is, when you buy a stock, let's say you buy Facebook, open up their IPO at $40. The sky's technically the limit. That stock could go up and up and up. But if you're short selling GameStop at $40, the most you could make is $40 on that share, because you get $1 basically for every dollar that share drops. But the problem is you could lose, in theory, infinite money.
Yeah.
If GameStop keeps going up, these guys have got to eventually buy stock.
And that's what's happening right now.
This is a problem because there's more short sellers than there is stock right now. So if every short seller right now said, I want out, it's physically impossible. This will skyrocket more.
They've got themselves into a bit of a pickle, haven't they?
Yeah.
And they're losing billions of dollars.
So what happened, some very smart people that post to Wall Street Bets subreddit, we're going to come back to that, saw like, whoa, look how much this is shorted. All Also, you could just say, well, why don't people just wait until it goes back down? They're paying interest on those shorts because when they short sell, they do it to the tune of usually, I think, millions and billions of dollars, and they're not putting that in there right away. They're basically borrowing it.
Which destroys the value of the company artificially.
Yep. And they have, because they're borrowing it, they're doing it on margin and all of that, they have way more power than the small guy. So they influence the market when they're doing that. They're not taking a risk like the average Joe looking in their newspaper thinking, I think this company's going to do well. They're taking the risk. These guys that influence the market aren't. They know the market's going to follow them. Well, Wall Street Bets went and said, look at this. Let's start putting money in this. They can't wait this out because as it goes up, they have to pay interest on that money. And they kind of like at the end of the month is when they go and look at the prices and they go to these companies and say, well, you short sold this at $20. Now it's $300. So you're either going to have to pay us $260 per share or you're going to pay very high interest on this until you do.
And that in the end of the month is technically Friday, right?
In GameStop, it's easier to move a company that has a low market cap. And I think GameStop before all this happened was probably under $1 billion. And now it's probably about 15 billion.
This is really interesting, man.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? We were talking yesterday because it's been pretty crazy that Chamath, who's a big time investor, he tweeted out that he bought some calls on this, $100,000 worth with the strike in February. We'll probably explain to people what that is. People don't know too. And we were kind of making fun of him because this is like $85. We're kind of making fun of him going, this guy thinks that GameStop's going to be over $115 by February. This was yesterday. Today, it closed at $350.
Yeah, that guy's doing okay.
Yeah.
Man.
So, when you buy a normal stock, I guess we should get into options because everybody's confused in options. But when you buy a stock, it's pretty easy to understand. You buy a stock, a GameStop at $100. It goes up to $300. You decide you want to sell, you make $200. Options, it's like buying it on steroids. You're basically buying 100 for every contract you buy. You're buying 100 of it, but you're having a strike price, meaning that you're betting it's going to be above a certain price. And so let's say you're on GameStop and you buy with a $200 strike price and you think it's going to be February 19th. What February 19th, for every dollar above 200 is, you get $100 because you have 100 contracts. 100. It's like buying 100 stocks. So every contract is 100. Chamath put 100,000 in, so he got a lot of calls. But yeah, we're making fun of him, and if he would have just held on to that, it's worth millions right now. Yeah. You could do the opposite. You could buy a put, and that just means that for every dollar below the strike price, you get $100. But you could obviously buy more than one contract, that sort of thing. But Wall Street Bets is kind of known for buying contracts more so than the shares.
But also, if it doesn't hit the strike price, you just lose everything.
You lose everything.
So if you put a 200 and it's 199 on that day, you just lose everything.
$0.
Yeah.
If that close, you get $0. So that trading space that's what we saw. They did it the opposite because I think it's easier for people to understand. But they bought contracts for calls, and they did it on margin. Margin just means you're taking out a loan, essentially. So they're paying interest. And so it closed on that was the date of the strike price. So it's not like they could wait for the next day and hope it comes back up. They're out. So contracts are pretty risky, of course, but they're very high reward, high risk. So I've had some where Chewy, I took out one on Chewy, it was doing great, and then it dipped right on my date, and so I lost my whole investment. And now I look at Chewy and it's up 30% from when I lost money. So I'm one of the only people to lose money on a stock that's going up 30-40%.
Yeah, so that's why calls and puts are way higher reward, but also higher risk.
Yep.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So when you short sell, you aren't buying a contract. You're just saying that you're going to basically lock in the price at that, but you have to buy that stock if you start going under. And so what Reddit did is these guys, and you're going to hear a lot of bad stuff in the media about Reddit. It's not true. It's Wall Street Bets. What you do is if you see something Like, for example, let's take Callaway. Callaway, in the middle of this pandemic, a lot of people started golfing because it's outside. You could have one person per golf cart, yada, yada, yada. People were bored as hell, so golf took off. Somebody wrote in there one day saying, I think Callaway calls are a good idea right now. Here's why. More people are golfing. I went to the golf shop and I can't ever get any Callaway clubs. I tried ordering them and it's months away. And if you look at their stock price, they're down 20%, whereas other golf ones are up 10%. They basically make their case.
Yeah.
Which is basically called like a white paper. Here's why I think this is going to go up or why this is going to go down. And all it is it's just the average person doing that rather than these billionaire hedge funds who think they know more. So with Callaway, then they will go and post that. I'm going to buy this. Here's why I think, and here is my position. And then the rest of that thread is them people debating it. You'll see people saying, you're crazy. Look at the P/E ratio. It's above 7. You don't want to do that. That's already there. Or you'll see people saying, this is a really good idea. I tried to go golfing the other day, and I saw that Callaway was out. You'll see people debating. And there's a couple of reasons people do this. One is just sharing knowledge. The people want to hear the debate. People want to say, hey, is this a good idea? This is what I'm thinking about doing. And two, obviously people vote people up if it's good information, then you get more karma. It's kind of that whole
people make up their own minds about what they like and don't like.
And it's cool because then it's an exchange of information. You could read, you could be an adult, you could decide if you want to get in on this or not. I've got in on these and I've lost money and I've made a lot of money. It's been a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And right now, because it's the normal person doing this and they don't have whatever credentials these people want, they are under attack right now. And it's really funny to see. And there's a lot of desperation. I mean, you'll watch the news today and they want us to feel bad for these hedge fund managers that are short selling companies, trying to run companies to the ground.
Right.
Then, so the problem with these short squeezes, I jumped ahead. A short squeeze is what happens when an overly shorted company starts going up. People start freaking out and they want to close their position, or they can't afford to hold their position, so they're forced to close up and buy. So what that happens it causes more buying pressure, so the stock goes up
even more. Right.
So if something is that shorted, by the way, they're at like 130 to 150%. And even yesterday, they were higher than they were the day before. The next highest is like Bed Bath & Beyond at like 60%. So this
how much really they're shorted.
Bad. Yeah. So this is really bad that they did this, that they shorted that much. I mean, it shouldn't be legal to go and short over 100%. You're already short selling a stock. Like, what happens now if everyone has to close? I mean, it goes to infinite amount of money.
Which let's talk about that for a second, because it looks like right now GameStop is at $350. Okay.
Yep.
On Friday, in 2 days, is when a lot of these shorts are going to come due, right?
Yep.
They sort of need to pay up or
they
put
just
it
keep
off.
paying interest, but their interest is going to go way higher and stuff. So Melvin Capital is like one of the leaders in this, and they shorted this at $40, hoping it would fall to 20. So they're basically hoping to double their money, and they are getting crushed. When GameStop went from like 20 to 60, we were kind of making fun of it. Like, Jesus, maybe we need to get in and short this. Then it went from like 60 to 100. I'm like, God, we got to short this.
Yeah, I would have definitely
they were freaking out because that's big. Well, now it's at $350.
Dude, that's so funny because when it was at 80, I would have shorted it. I would have shorted at 40. Okay.
Well, just to be honest, I don't think GameStop has a chance to go and redefine themselves and change up their business plan. I don't think they're going to. I think eventually they're probably going to go the way of Toys R Us.
Probably. But it's funny because I wanted to short then, and now it's at $350, and I'm thinking I need to buy this because on Friday, just what you're talking about, these companies are going to real quickly have to buy the stock, no matter what it costs.
That's weird. When a stock starts shooting up, when a stock sits at $20 for a long time, you start getting people that have like buy orders at like $16. And they'll have sell orders at like 30. So basically, if it would ever touch 30, they make 50% and they're happy. Well, that starts creating resistance. So because of that stock, it's really hard for a stock to move, especially if you have a market cap in the billions. What happens when you see a spike like this, it goes through all of those sell orders. So it blasts through the resistance. So it's way easier for a stock to move
to keep
after
going.
it spiked.
Right.
Yeah.
To keep
So we're going to
rising.
see, yes. So we're seeing a bit of that too. There's no resistance here. We're seeing people jump on. It's become a meme stock right now.
I want to buy it just to be part of it. Because I hate these. I hate Wall Street. They can fuck off.
There is a bit part of that where people are using this to get back to the elites. I think it was CNN or CNBC. Somebody, they had an article saying that basically this is Trumpism, kind of. Trump was elected.
They're blaming Trump for this?
Trump was kind of elected as like, fuck the elites. We need a normal guy in there. We need a guy who's going to shove it to the man.
Okay.
There's a little bit of that going on here where it's like, you know what? Fuck these guys.
That's how I feel.
Chamath is a billionaire investor. When it was like $80, we talked about this, but he bought $100,000 worth of calls that are now probably worth over $1 million if you'd have kept them. But he went on Twitter and tweeted out he's going to buy it, and it started to spike this. And then we saw Elon, who's kind of against the man too. He's kind of a smaller government against the man type of guy. He tweeted out Gamestonk.
And, here it is.
It went up more. And so now, I mean, Wall Street bets, usually what happens, someone will have a really good write-up in a company. It will go up 30%, 10%. You have contracts that goes up about 200%. You double your money. You get out. That's it usually. Well, this one was a little bit weird because it started out just like normal. But people kind of kept saying, it's like, don't sell the short squeeze. That doesn't mean it just started. Well, you see people doing that because you want to convince people to buy in, because the more people that buy it, obviously your price goes up. So I just overlooked it, thinking, these guys are keep trying to drive this up. But they keep saying this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This one was at like $40, $50.
Right. Now it's
and they kept saying, like, we're going to drive this to 1,000. We're going to drive this to 1,000. Like, yeah, right. Well, they're a third of the way there.
I know. Them saying that 1,000 thing, even yesterday or 2 days ago when it was at 150, that seemed so dumb to me.
It's going to force.
I was thinking, like, if I bought in, I'd get out at 600,
We were all making fun of Chamath because he bought a strike price of 115.
Right. And the guy's a genius.
Yeah.
Of course, I luckily knew that I have no idea what any, that I'm talking about, so.
So what they started to do then is they started looking at other companies that are shorted a lot. BlackBerry. I mean, BlackBerry's kind of laugh. People make jokes about BlackBerry.
Yeah.
AMC. AMC's been shut for months because of the of COVID, and that was worth almost next to nothing, but had a lot of shorts on it, and even to a certain extent, Nokia, even though it's not as much shorted, and that almost became a meme at the same time. So you can see those starting to fly right now too.
Yeah.
But because all of them started to move, the elite got very, very nervous today. And here's why too. The market's in a bubble. Let's face it. We're in a giant bubble right now where most people are going to lose money when that pops, but not the elites. Well, the elites make money by shorting bubbles. Well, now they can't short because they're shitting their pants that if they short a stock, it's going to get the Wall Street bets.
I love it.
You'll see people just posting lists of the most shorted stocks right there because
it's an opportunity to make money.
Yeah, they're literally seeing people make $1 million. These normal people behind the computer that are students or whatever, desk jockeys, making $1 million on this. They're going to put that $1 million back in the market somewhere. And these guys don't want to be caught like Melvin Capital with their dicks in their hand, thinking, "What the hell do we do now?"
Oh wow, that's fascinating.
Shorting going down while we're in the middle of probably a market drop, like a market, maybe even a bubble popping. The rest of the market got fucking crushed today, crushed.
Yeah.
Other than these meme stocks, so usually you see shorting going really high right
Dude,
now.
It seems like these hedge funds and Wall Street have been playing a rigged game and fucking over Main Street and regular people since the beginning. Yep. And finally, for the first time ever, they're saying, "Hey, this isn't fair," and we can.
Thank you, Internet.
Yeah, thank you, Robinhood. And the regular people say, "Hey, this isn't fair. We can make money off of your evil shit," and now they are.
A lot of times when you buy an option, you buy a call, and it goes up, you make money. You could sell kind of at a profit. You don't have to buy those 100 stocks. You can just say, "I just give you the profit," and they have to do that. But what you're starting to see people do is, even if it's costing them money, they're waiting until that expires, and they say, I want those stocks, even though it costs them more money. They're making less money, but it's causing more of that pressure to go up. And they're basically saying, fuck you to Wall Street,
I love
and
it.
SEC, and everybody.
I believe that's happening, and I think it's great. And Melvin Capital, I hope they go out of business. See, on top of that, in 2008, when everyone lost their houses and stuff, we bailed out Wall Street. The American people's tax money paid for these rich people. They said, "Oh, we need money. We did bad."
These are the guys that accelerated and accentuated the plummeting of the market. So not only do they get rich off of fucking you over and you losing your house, the government then goes into your pocket and gives them more money.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
These are the same people.
And I'm supposed to feel bad for Melvin Capital? I don't give a shit.
Seamus basically said that there's a big part of why he put money into this was to go after these guys. And so we're seeing now Nokia, BlackBerry, AMC went up like 3 times today.
Yeah, I know.
But GameStop's not slowing down.
So I think
you'll notice that in the after hours it's down, and we'll talk about that in a bit too. But we have a lot to get through.
I know, and I want to. So now that we're talking about these, there's basically four stocks that Wall Street Bet is talking about that apparently they have this the requirements where there's a large amount of shorts on these stocks by hedge funds, right?
Yeah, and they're low market cap. So
and
if
they're low
market cap, it's easier to influence the price.
I see.
And high shorted. That's kind of the perfect storm.
So GameStop, AMC, Nokia, and BlackBerry. Okay.
Nokia is a little bit different because it's a higher market cap than those. It's probably a couple of them combined before all this. And there's not as much short. But Nokia is kind of a healthier company than those, and they kind of got some news coming out with 5G and stuff. And Nokia was $4 or $5 today. $5 looks easier for people to swallow than $330.
Right. Yes.
Even though Nokia is worth more, but people have a hard time understanding that Nokia is worth more than those stocks only $6. There's just a lot more stock of Nokia than there is at GameStop.
Well, I think I'm going to buy, $500 worth of these stocks, and I'll probably do calls. Because I want to hit the moon.
Well.
I don't really care to make, $800.
Yeah, there's a good
I want to make
that
25,000.
There's a good chance when these quit being memes that they go back down anyway.
Yeah. So I want to ride the meme train to the moon here and get lucky. That's what I'm trying to do.
And this is a bit what happened to Tesla. Tesla used to be the most shorted stock on the internet on the market. What happened though is they just were able. It was a new company. A lot of new companies go under, especially when they're trying to be that. I mean, Tesla's the most innovative company we've seen in a long time, and they survived. So it's kind of the perfect storm. They were too highly shorted. It was a short squeeze, but at the same time, they survived, and they're super profitable now. I mean, they've had earnings today, and they had a really good earnings day, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So they were a little bit different. But that is kind of essentially why they went from $200 to being, if they didn't split, $4,000 right now, basically. But these companies like GameStop is probably going to be able to stay in business longer because of these guys.
Well, definitely they will. And if it hadn't been for these guys, the hedge funds would have put GameStop out of business prematurely.
It's funny because I used to go to Wall Street Bets every morning for a year. And it's crazy. Like it used to have about 2 million subscribers, but not many people were on. Like you would hit new just because you wanted the newest stuff, and you'd have to hit new and refresh every 5 to 10 minutes. Well, now they had like 1 million people added in the last day or two. Yeah, really? 3.9. They're up to 2. They doubled, and you can't even make sense of it anymore. You hit new, and there's tons of new threads.
Oh, interesting.
But what was happening? These short sellers are shitting their pants. They were trying to, they made a bunch of fake accounts that were a day old, never posted before, and you could tell they were trying to get Wall Street Bets to move on to the next thing. Because usually they got a pretty short
attention span.
Yeah, attention span for this. They usually move on to the next one. Even there's a lot of big misses there, of course. I mean, it's Wall Street bets, it's in the name. But like purple mattress, they thought was going to take off. That became a meme and it plummeted. They forget about it. They laugh at the losses and they move on. But this time it was such a big win. But what's happening now, these Melvin Capitals, these people, they're making fake accounts and they're trying to pump up other stocks to get the pressure off of. So it's kind of usually by now there's already more stocks developing, but we're in a weird point where anyone tries to post anything else and the comments they're voted down and people are saying, fuck off, get out of here, bot type of thing.
Yeah.
You can tell they're not.
We're busy today.
Anything. Yeah. Quit trying to sell something else. You can hit do there. You'll probably see it. Quit telling us to buy something else and go put your money in GameStop, you fucking loser. It's basically what these all are now.
That's awesome.
So another thing they started to do, I'm walking tomorrow morning to bring HedgeFunds. Another thing they're starting to do is you could tell they're trying to, because there is laws about this. You can't do pump and dumps. You can't tell people, there's very quick rules. What they're trying to do is they're making fake accounts that are going in there and they're posting illegal stuff, trying to get other people to post an illegal stuff.
They're like agent provocateurs.
The SEC and say, look at this. But they were wise to this. So they deleted all of that.
Interesting. But yeah, so they're trying to go there and do it's just like a guy going to the protest and bricking a window.
Yeah, agent provocateurs.
Yeah.
So you saw the companies doing that. It was kind of interesting. The people that normally post here, they say they've been posting forever. They post all the time. They never have anyone trying to send them private messages. Well, if you went on there yesterday or the day before, and you started posting short, like, hey, Melvin Capital's getting screwed. They're losing $1 billion for every $20 this goes up. That sort of thing. They would get a new account with no post history, with a picture of a hot female on it, trying to send them private messages. And I'm sure they were going to try to entrap them to get them in trouble, so they quit posting.
Get their account removed.
I think they thought they could get to this early enough that it wouldn't be a problem.
I think
they thought it was a temporary
thing.
thing.
Melvin Capital has 10 different teams working on not losing everything, because they're losing billions of dollars.
It's so easy to see. Like, there's kind of its own culture there, and like inside jokes. Like, they call everybody retards.
The new guys don't know how to do it. I'm sure. The fake accounts can't hang.
It's called DD when you're posting. I forgot what that even stands for. But when you're posting, like, hey, go and buy this. And when you go there, usually the first two comments when you start putting your DD in there are like, don't know anything about it, but sounds good. I'm all in. And they do it as a joke, saying like, I don't care. I'm just put all my money here. And I fell for it a couple of times. Like, fuck, these guys are all going all in. Why don't I go all in? And there's kind of like a joke that they lose
you're perfect for the subreddit, Garrett.
I know. There's a joke that they lose so much money that they have to go to their wives' boyfriends to ask for money and stuff. Like, there's inside jokes that have been just forming that are becoming a meme in there. And none of these new bots, you can tell they don't know it. They don't know the rules. And it's so easy to see, but they're definitely doing it. So then there's also a Discord channel with Wall Street Bets that obviously is blowing up today. Well, when you and me get fucked over by Melvin Capital, we go on the internet and bitch about it, and people act like, we'll blame the Democrats or blame the Republicans. And,
didn't you save some extra money, you idiot?
CNBC said, the CNBC will say, well, you should have been a little bit better with your money, and we the regulators should look at these guys, but nothing happens. But when the small guy starts winning, these billionaires, they call their friends at the SEC and say, hey, go and shut this down.
Right.
And the SEC said that they're
now it's a problem.
This. Yeah. Nokia today was going up so fast, they halted trading like 5 times in no time. And what they do is it goes up too quick. It takes 20 seconds and they freeze it for 5 minutes. So you can't trade anymore. It's going up too fast. And then they open it back up and it goes up and they halt it again. They halt it. It's supposed to be a 5-minute halt.
Are we ever going to have a free market in this world?
No. Crypto is the closest.
Pisses me off, dude.
But then what also happened, and nobody knows why still till this day, but I guess the NASDAQ CEO said that we should quit Nokia trading all day. And so they did. They froze it for a fucking hour.
They shouldn't be able to do that. How unbelievable is that, dude? Oh, my God.
Nokia started at about $5 today. It went up to about almost 10 for a while, but these freezes kept fucking it over so much. It fell to about 750 until the market closed.
Think if you were the CEO of Nokia, how much they fucked you.
Well, Nokia, they basically made Nokia come out and have a news release saying they don't know why their stock's going up. And they had to do that to basically wash their hands of it.
Don't worry about it.
Not get in trouble.
Yeah, but don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'll put my money where I want. And so will my retard Wall Street bet friends.
Yes.
And
they're acting like they are breaking the rules with. They're acting like this should be shut down. There's people that have their life savings in this right now, and you'll go watch and they'll say, "Why you say this? People are going to get hurt." Well, you're going to hurt them by taking the stock because they got their fucking life savings in it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear how much they care about the people. They never gave a shit when they were stealing the money.
They did a fake caring.
Now that the people are winning, you suddenly care that they'll be hurt. Yeah,
I
don't buy it.
Gatekeeper. These guys are on TV every day talking about the market, and they're getting beat by a guy that's, I don't know, that
loves chicken tendies.
$10 an hour.
Right.
Working at the computer that has no way out of fucking poverty and making a ton of money until now. Well, these guys making $10 an hour don't know more than me. They're seeing them make $1 million and these guys not. And of course they're doing it to protect them,
Right.
Well, who's going to be the bag holders? Who's going to be bag holders?
Right.
Who's going to be the bag holders when the market drops because of Melvin Capital?
Yeah, man. Exactly. And dude, I don't want to hear from Wall Street and the media that they're trying to protect the little guy. I don't want to hear that. I don't give a shit about it. I also don't want to hear that this is somehow bad trading. But when the hedge funds do it, they do all sorts of very moral with lots of integrity. I don't want to hear that lying bullshit.
There's different reasons you buy a stock. The most obvious one, you look at the financials, you look at what they're making, you look at their overhead, and you say, this stock is underrated. They're making more money. They should be worth more. That's the most common, the obvious one. The next one is you see a stock like Tesla and you're saying they're not making money yet, or Amazon back in the day. They're not making money yet, but they're really innovative. I could see this going somewhere. Uber, take your pick. Something that's kind of futuristic. You say, I think they're going to become profitable. I want to get in early. That's another reason to buy a stock. Another reason to buy a stock is there's momentum behind it. It's moving a lot. It's gaining traction. People are talking about it more. That's a very valid reason to buy a stock. You're buying a stock, gambling, it's going to go higher. And guess what? If there's momentum behind it, a lot of times you are. But just like anything, don't put your money in the market if it's money you can't afford to lose, because you might lose it. That's the whole point of the stock market.
Yeah. And if you're an adult, you might lose it. Ta-da.
Just like opening a new business, being an entrepreneur, you look at what you think are the risk and the rewards, and you take that chance.
Yeah.
Except when you open a business, most of the time the risks are way fucking higher than putting money in the stock market.
Right.
And that's why the average person doesn't do much margin. And that's why the average person doesn't short sell a lot, because they're mitigating their risks.
Right. Yep. But anyway, now it's to the moon.
Yeah. So I think,
I would love to get into this stuff. I don't know much about any of this,
I woke up
but
this morning,
it's been super interesting for the last few days.
I almost put $2,000 worth of calls in Nokia, but I didn't know how much money I had in my account. I didn't want to do it on margin and pay the interest. So I thought, I'll do 10 and I'll come back and do 10 more. So I put $10 in, $1,000 to buy 10 calls. And by the time that went through, I went and transfer some money over. I went to buy more. I'm like, that $1,000 worth $1,300. I'll wait a little bit. That $1,000 is worth $1,700. Like, I'm gonna wait a little bit.
Oh no!
They said, that $1,000 worth $5,000, $6,000. I think it got up to. But I'm not paying $6,000 for something I paid $1,000 for.
Dang it!
Earlier this morning.
So you missed it.
Oh, I got 10 contracts.
Okay.
For every dollar it goes up, I make $1,000.
So, dude, that's amazing. Great job.
Yeah.
But think how much.
I'm up like 300% for buying something, 12 hours ago.
This is why I want to buy calls.
Yeah. Once you're up 10%, I think when the stock was up 10%, I was up over 100%. I made $1,000.
So didn't the SEC completely fuck you today?
So Discord got shut down, and they said it was for racist and hate speech. So they completely nuked the Discord
The Wall
channel.
Street's Bets Discord.
Yep.
And they said it was for racism.
And there's
it just so happens to be on this day.
It would be so easy to have an agent provocateur go in there and write some stuff. And next thing you know, the moderators miss it because there's a comment every 100th of a second. They miss it. And they use that for an excuse to delete it. Well, then, without saying anything, this timing was bad, but without saying anything, the moderators of Wall Street Bets subreddit basically locked the subreddit so nobody could go into there. But everyone started thinking, well, they shut down this one at the exact same time. It's a safe assumption this is shut down. And it plummeted the meme stocks, plummeted them. But then Wall Street Bets opened up like 20 minutes before after hours trading was done, and they started to shoot back up again. But they didn't have enough time to completely recover.
So tomorrow and the next day are going to be interesting.
Tomorrow, the CEO of Barstool Sports kind of released a video saying, we're going to crush these guys for doing this to us. And he put $1 million into Nokia and $1 million into AMC or BlackBerry.
I have to jump on this meme momentum
You know what would be a
train.
nice one to maybe jump on? Because AMC completely took off. They're up like 400% today.
Yeah.
Nokia's up, obviously big. BlackBerry kind of had a bit of a run up earlier, but BlackBerry might not be a bad one to look at. I mean, they went from $12 to $22 in like 4 days, but in the grand scheme of things, there's still a low market cap. There's a lot of shorts still. That might be one to look at.
Well, I think I'm going to buy some of all of these 4 things.
Yep.
That's
So
my plan.
long story short, the good guys are finally winning. This might be the beginning of a new market. I don't think there's any way they can stop this. Even if they go and delete Wall Street Bets and it temporarily stops it, it's like the Michael Scott Paper Company. I could come up with 1,000 different names. They can go to a new webpage. There are already a Wall Street Bets 2, and there's a Wall Street Bets Revolution. There's already popping up.
Good.
These organs will hop to a different one. They're not going to be able to silence this. So for the first time ever, retail investors looks like at this point, they at least have the upper hand.
Yeah.
I think it's going to change the market. The markets are never going to be the same since.
Good.
Since here on
Thank
out.
God.
At the
Thank
very
God.
least, shorting, we'll never see a company shorted 140% again at this rate.
Thank
and
God.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. More likely, Wall Street Bets might be one of the bigger market movers. And it's going to change Wall Street Bets, of course. But it's interesting.
Fun, man.
Yep.
So let me ask you this, though, Garrett.
Yep.
$350 right now for
Yep.
GameStop.
Yep.
Friday is when these hedge funds have
Tally
to
and
pay
count.
up, okay?
Yep.
Wall Street Bets is kind of saying this is going to go to 1,000 or even
Yep.
higher.
Yep.
What do you think?
Let's do a thought experiment. Let's say it goes to, let's say the market cap, it goes up and the market cap goes up to $10 trillion. More money that's basically in the world. What happens to those shorts then? They have to round up more money than that's in existence to close their position.
Well, they pull themselves up their bootstraps,
Yep.
invent a new great
Get a real
idea.
job. Get a real fucking
Yeah.
productive job and produce something for society, you fucking leeches.
Yeah, I like that answer, man.
But
yeah, they all go
that-
bankrupt
that's-
is what
you
happens.
know what? This usually when a short squeeze happens, it goes up kind of slowly. The shorts have to get out and buy. It causes it to go up a little bit slower because more shorts come in. But it does. It drives the price up. Well, this one has gone up so fast. I think a lot of the shorts haven't been able to get out yet. Speaking of, Melvin Capital claims that they are out, that they closed.
Yeah,
their
I wanted to
position.
mention that. So they went
I
on.
don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Everything I've seen says that they lied about that. Melvin Capital went on CNBC and they say they closed their position, that they got out.
I don't understand how they could. So
And that's illegal for them to say.
absolutely,
If they're
It's illegal
lying,
for-
it's illegal.
lie.
Yep.
Because that is a market mover and it's a lie. They can't do that. But they
Everyone's
had to
saying
get
they're
basically a $2 billion with a B infusion of cash when Bitcoin. Why are you saying that? When GameStop closed at like the $100 or $120, whatever it was, they had to get a $2 billion infusion of cash basically to stay where they were at, to stay afloat. I think it's like every $12 or $13 this goes up, they lose another $1 billion on their position. And we're up now just hundreds of dollars since then. I don't believe them.
No,
And I can see them
I'm
getting
sure
in
they're doing
trouble.
anything they can to
Here's the
survive.
problem. They're just just like when we see a Hunter Biden's laptop come out with him with young girls, these guys are just above the fucking law, though.
Right. They won't be punished. They'll change the law.
What they did was illegal if they didn't close it, and I don't think they closed it.
See, they did what they're accusing Wall Street Bets of doing,
Yeah, yes.
They actually did it for real, for sure. Wall Street Bets didn't do anything illegal.
Nothing wrong. We have free speech.
Yeah.
We could make a case of why this stock
People can buy whatever they want.
People are free to buy whatever stock for whatever goddamn reason they want. They're trying to act like it's not a legitimate reason because they're trying to stick it to Melvin Capital and because they see the momentum. Those are two very legit reasons to buy a stock. When I bought Nokia today, I didn't give a shit if I lost $1,000. I mean, knock on wood here. I'm in a lucky position where I could throw money in the market as a political statement. And if I lose, it kind of sucks, but not really because my life's not going to change. I'm not going to notice.
That's awesome.
So I'm in a good position for that. That's my money. I could put that wherever the fuck I want.
Yeah, for whatever reason you want.
Some CNBC host saying I don't have a good enough reason to buy a stock, they could fuck right off.
Yeah, don't worry about my reason.
Yes.
The moon was full. That's why I bought the stock.
Do you know how I got to where I could throw $1,000 in the market, not care if I lose it or not? By taking risk. So maybe this prints for me. I was up $5,000 on that. I wish I would have put in 10,000 or 100,000.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Boy, it's really fun to watch this, though.
I can't wait to see how this.
I can't wait for Friday. I hope these hedge funds, because it's not. We keep saying Melvin Capital because they're down billions of dollars, but it's not just them. Because they all do what they say we're doing, which is riding the momentum.
And they do it on leverage. So when
they do it on borrowed money.
When we're doing this with Wall Street Bets, and you get a couple people that have $1 million. I mean, we got really excited when Chamath threw his money in because he's got $1 billion. But these people do it so much on leverage that they're basically influencing it by the trillions. And they don't have trillions of dollars, but they have that much influence on the fucking markets.
Yeah, which is completely
and it's funny.
Bullshit.
These CNBC and these guys, they're calling for Reddit to be regulated. They're basically saying that we shouldn't have free speech and the little guy shouldn't be able to get in on this because the little guy's making money. But they don't call for that when the market's dropping and people are losing their fucking houses and killing themselves.
Right.
No, they're fine with that. They'll do a little bit of a story saying how it's sad and wrong, but they don't mean it. They don't give a fuck.
No,
they care when
things went to plan when that happened.
Yes.
You know, see, that's why I don't want to hear this
tomorrow. You're probably going to lose your money. GameStop's not going to be $350 3 months from now, but fuck it. You're probably going to make some money.
Buy it and sell it. Buy it and sell it when it hits 1,000.
Yep, you're probably going to make some money, and you might be a bag holder, but at least you're shoving it to these pieces of shit.
That's how I feel. That's why, dude. That's why I'm going to buy some GameStop. You know, I just want to be part of this. I hate Wall Street. I hate the government. I hate these working together pieces of shit.
And we're already seeing it.
I hate the media.
The SEC
I hate big
already
tech.
came out, and I think the short sellers were hoping it would drop it. They came out and said they're investigating the fucking new press secretary that fucking bitch. It sucks already. She's terrible already. She basically came out and said the White House is aware of it. They're looking into it. We already have the government already looking at squashing this, but I don't think they can do anything. I don't know what they can do.
I hope they can't because they're going to try to
win. They're going to ramp it up the next 2 days. They might win short term. You know what? They might crash GameStop. They might bail out Melvin Capital. But from here on out, things are different. We're going to see people afraid to short. We're going to see Wall Street Bets, whatever they can morph into, whatever they change their Michael Scott paper company name into. We're going to see them being the market movers now. And it's funny because we're in a bubble that's popping other than these meme stocks. And the big guys are going to be afraid to short the market, and it's going to slow that bubble pop. And it's going to make this easier for families to adapt. It's going to be easier for 401k companies to go and move their money around to safer harbors.
And easier for companies to stay alive when they aren't getting shorted.
To stay alive. Yeah. It's going to be easier for the average person to download Robinhood and get in and put a put on something they think is going down and get some of that money too. It's going to be way better for the nation.
Yeah, it really seems amazing, dude.
TD Ameritrade and a lot of the other brokerages came out and said they're not letting people buy or sell GameStop, Nokia, AMC. They basically said, we know better than you. We're going to protect you. We're not letting you sell. That's your money. They work for you, but they're big.
It makes me so mad, dude.
You know that wasn't them doing it. They don't care. That was Melvin Capital going to the SEC and the SEC going to them. Reddit. The forums were down for a while this morning. I don't think that was a coincidence.
They closed Wall Street Bets for a while.
Yep, closed Wall Street Bets for a while.
They closed the Discord channel, like you mentioned.
Robinhood, which is the easiest way for the average person to get the stocks, that was down for a while.
There's
still people saying that. Yep. Oh yeah. There's still people saying they can't even. The people that don't have accounts on it are having trouble getting accounts right now.
Oh, I'm glad I have an account.
There's even people. So I moved over $2,000 when I was buying this morning. There was somebody that moved over $800, and they moved over from a credit card. Then they went to the store to buy something. Their card was completely frozen. So after being on the phone a bunch, they claim, who knows if this is Melvin Capital lying and trying to scare people, but this was the post. They claim that their account was halted on account of an SEC investigation on someone moving $800 to buy stock today.
Wow, dude.
That sounds like it's basically Melvin Capital trying to scare people, trying to slow this down. But if not, that's really fucked up.
Yeah, it's super strange. It also sounds like this is really something serious that's happening to the stock market and to the market.
Today is a new day for the rest of the stock market's life.
I like that call, man. That's a big call that you're making there. I think you're right. Because you're right. These hedge funds can never short sell a company 150% again.
You had to call your fucking stockbroker. They charged you $7 a trade on top of the commission, on top of their fees for you having an account. And you had to convince them that you really wanted this. And they tried to talk you out of it. Like these accountants, when people were buying Tesla, they were wrong. They were saying Tesla's a bad buy, get out. And a lot of people said, no, I don't want to. And they were wrong about Tesla. They were wrong about Apple. Right. They've been wrong a lot.
Yeah.
And so for them to come on and say, we know more than you, they're wrong.
Yeah.
They don't know more than you.
And also fuck off with that.
Yeah,
dude, you know, it's the same thing happening in multiple aspects of the world right now.
Yep.
It's with this stock market, with the institutions being proven wrong. It's
the same way. I don't mean to cut you off. No, it's the same way in a different scale of the fact checkers.
That's what I was going to say, dude.
Could go on and get their own information. They don't have to listen to what
big
CNN
tech says
Fox
is
News
true.
Or whoever says. They could do their own research, and they don't like that. So now we have fact checkers.
So all these institutions, they basically claim to have a monopoly on the truth.
Yep.
Wall Street says we're the only ones who know what a stock is worth. Yep. Big tech is now just saying they know everything that's true or not.
Let's face it, a stock is only worth what someone's going to pay for it.
Yeah, of course.
It's a fucking free market. It's capitalism.
Right.
If somebody will pay $350 for GameStop, that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
If someone will only pay $200, it's worth $200.
Yeah.
There's no other way to set a price on stocks.
Stonk. What up, DZ Drunk? Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
we loved you earlier.
Also with the WHO. The WHO has just a monopoly on the truth about health. The government says, businesses have to close. We'll decide what an essential business is or not. All these institutions pretending that they know what is right for everybody else. And not only that, they say, not only do we know the truth, but your truth is dangerous. And we need to censor you because you're wrong and we need to protect you.
We've seen them be wrong on that a lot of times. So they kind of basically saying now, open up. It's doing more harm than good.
They've been wrong. Every institution we're talking about has been wrong about everything this whole time.
Should Twitter censor the World Health Organization when the World Health Organization says that? Because we got censored on YouTube for saying that.
No shit.
Should YouTube also censor them?
Yeah.
I mean, we said that way back when. We don't even have a fucking YouTube account right now.
Exactly, man.
But yeah. So, it started with, we talked about it. It started with Alice Jones. They went for the craziest. They went for the most outlandish. The one that said that the kids really didn't get killed. They went for him first. And then they went for Q. And then they went for conservatives. Well, now they're just going for anything they don't like. Look what happened to Wall Street Bet's Discord. They went after that.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's just like DZ Drunk says. These big guys think they rule us. And they just want to power grab over our lives. They really do. And fuck that.
DZD, we should have given you a heads up that we're going live with this one. We actually should have called you on this one because we just did about an hour on GameStop and shorting and.
Yeah, it's been fun reading about it the last couple of days.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a lot more. I still don't know much about it, but it's interesting.
Yeah, but this is just another arm of that for me. So I love to see this happening right now. Just love it. Now, if I lose money on it, great. I lost it for a good cause. I don't care.
And dude, you know them closing that Discord channel and saying it was because of racism and white supremacy? That offends me so much.
Especially because you had hundreds of thousands of people in there. You can't control what everybody says.
No, and also you didn't close it for racism last week. You know, it just so happens that now that they're crushing the hedge funds.
Melvin Capital goes in there as one person in there and says something hateful, and it's missed because there's millions of comments. That's enough to shut down a Discord channel. So now we said earlier that the left was gonna regret not sticking up for conservatives when they started to get censored and shit deleted, just because it's a private business, which the left, they've never been for corporate censorship in the past. We knew that it was going to bite them in the ass. I didn't think it was going to be 3 days later.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of nice. But another thing about them banning Discord and saying it was because of white supremacy, it reminds me of when they banned online poker 10 years ago. Because they banned online poker. Do you remember why? What they said the reason was, Garrett?
Oh, I don't.
They said
I'm sure it was protect the kids somehow.
It was to combat terrorism. It's because they thought that poker was being used to fund terrorism, and they couldn't allow funding of terrorism. And that was the hot button shit back then.
That's the same thing Janet Yellen's basically saying about crypto. I mean, crypto's down a lot since she's in now.
And of course, it never had anything to do with some noble...
It's control.
Yeah.
They want you to have to go to the casinos and pay the house fee.
Exactly. They want the institutions to maintain power. I'm so appalled that they get away with pretending to be doing something noble when they're obviously doing something so evil. Pisses me off.
Well, that's what this is about too.
Yeah.
You're going to, we're not going to play it tonight probably because we ran out of time, but Chamath went on to NBC, but they acted like they were sticking up for the small guy. They're trying to crash GameStop.
Right.
And they're saying, well, who's going to be the bag holders? Who's going to be back? It doesn't matter. They're adults. They decided to do that.
The whole time they're trying to pretend like they're doing we have to protect where is that in there? Here it is. Maybe we should play some of it.
I think we almost got to wait. This is going to be a whole show on itself, I think.
Okay.
You know what? Let's play a clip or two to give people a taste of this.
Because this was a great interview by this guy. I love this interview.
Good. Play the first 3 minutes because he makes some good points that we were just kind of making. Go play the first 3 minutes.
A lot of well-known names weighing in and buying in, too, and that includes our next guest. He tweeted on Tuesday that he'd gone long through call options. Chamath Palihapitiya is the CEO of Social Capital. He joins us now on the phone. Chamath, thank you for being here.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So you tweeted yesterday that you bought $115 calls in GameStop. Can you tell me what your position is as of this very moment?
Oh, they'd be worth millions if you held them.
Can I tell you a little story before all of that, or no?
Why don't you tell me that first, and then we'll go from there.
Oh, fuck yourself.
So this morning I woke up after
he shouldn't have asked, though.
all last night in Wall Street Bets, reading about all of this stuff. I ended up closing up my position this morning, and I wanted to announce that I'm taking all the profits that I made, plus my original position. So I'm going to take $500,000, and I'm going to donate to the Barstool Fund for Small Businesses. But I really want to tell you, beyond the $500,000 donation or the money that I invested, which was not a huge amount in the grand scheme of that stock or the entire market, what I learned, because I think what I learned over the last couple of days is important for everybody that's watching CNBC.
And that is?
I think that what you're seeing is essentially a pushback against the establishment in a really important way. You have a lot of people, and I would encourage anybody who is dismissive of this thing to go into Wall Street Bets and actually just read the forums. And I think that you're going to see 3 kinds of posts. The first kind of content are a lot of people doing some incredible fundamental diligence on companies, trying to think about long-term value. And in my opinion, many of them are doing as good and, frankly, a better job than a lot of hedge fund analysts that I work with.
Great point. Glad you got that in.
The second are a lot of people who believe...
And I actually I love that the douchebag interviewing him tries to make that, they can't be doing good analysis. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know?
They start fighting later. It's pretty good. But yeah, go ahead and play some more.
That, coming out of 2008, what happened was Wall Street took an enormous amount of risk, and they left retail as the bag holder. And a lot of these kids were in grade school and high school when that happened. They lost their homes. Their parents lost their jobs. And they've always wondered, like, why did those folks get bailed out for taking enormous amounts of risk and nobody helped and showed up to help my family?
Yeah.
And then the third thing is a realization that instead of having idea dinners or, quiet whispered conversations amongst hedge funds in the Hamptons, these kids have the courage to do it transparently in a forum. And I'm not saying all of it is perfect by any means, but I think it takes an enormous amount of faith in the system to be that transparent, to talk about things, and then for each individual to make their own mind up and to do things, whether it's to buy and to sell. And I think that what it proves is this retail phenomenon is here to stay.
He's doing a good job getting his point across fast.
2.7 million people inside of Wall Street Bets. I think that they are as important as any hedge fund or collection of hedge funds. And I think the most important thing is that in a world of zero interest rates and quantitative easing, I don't know how you can run a typical hedge fund strategy and make money anymore. Because, for example, when you looked at GameStop, a normal person would say, how can you have 136% short interest? How can you be short 40% more shares than actually exist in the world? To a normal person, that
Go
doesn't
to about
make any
8
sense.
minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay.
We'll play more of this, but I'm trying to hit some of the points for people. I obviously look this up. Everyone watches is great. This guy's brilliant, and he puts this guy in his space.
I love this interview. I think, how do you say this guy's name? Chamath? I think he does a great job on this interview, man.
Value is that when I put that position on, $125,000 position, I used it to acquire knowledge and learning. And what I was trying to
120%
is how
short.
these positions move in the modern trading era.
Holy
and what I can
fuck.
tell you is,
so that's
Friday.
Friday's
going to be so
made no
if I can get in under 300 tomorrow because of the whole mini crash we saw, I'm getting in tomorrow with some pretty decent sized money.
Are you going to buy calls?
Calls are super expensive, but I think you can kind of do like a split type of thing.
But you think you just
right
might just buy straight the stock?
I would try to do some sort of a call, maybe the higher your strike price, the cheaper it is, because it's less likely to hit. So I'd probably buy something mid-February with a really high strike price. So if it goes up, I'm at least going up more than it would, type of thing.
Well, we're gonna have to.
And if it jumps up $100, then I'm fucking doing really well.
Yeah, and it might go up to $1,500 tomorrow.
Especially if, like DZD's saying, 120%. Like the thing that caused this to take off isn't even resolved yet. In fact, it's probably worse. These people are going to be pretty desperate to get out of their position.
Dude, think how many more people are buying GameStop right now. And that's before these hedge funds have started buying GameStop.
Yeah, they had to buy out of their position.
Friday is going to be really interesting. And, dude, I've got to figure out what I want to buy and just buy it, I want to buy some calls on Nokia and some calls on...
Jump to about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Like I said, we could go back and hit some more points.
We might have to just play this next time, too.
Yeah.
After this, but...
I mean, hopefully we're on here and GameStop's $1,000 next time, and we're doing this again.
Probably will be. Okay, here we go.
All you're going to do is systematically lock in institutional ways of making money for institutional clients, and I don't think that's the solution. If you want to go and address the solution, fix how risk-taking happens at the institutional level, fix the precondition, fix the ability for these stocks to be so massively shorted in the first place. Change the business model of funds.
What do you think it would take for Melvin to go broke on this? So I know they have enough money to wait this out. But eventually they're not going to be able to wait this out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if this was $1,000 and it holds there for a month, are they broke? They go to 20. Where are we at right now? We have 20 minutes.
20 minutes, yeah.
Go to 22:30. We'll start there. A fight. We'll do that to about 25 minutes, and then we'll go towards the end.
He doesn't know.
I mean, yeah, that's
but then basically lambast Wall Street bets because they actually have the courage to write their stuff down publicly where anybody can see it.
I mean, look, my point is that I'm not lambasting anybody. Okay, I'm glad these people are making money. That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
Honestly, let's face it. No, you're not.
I love
this. And the person that was on before you, no, she's not.
Well, that's because for the last 10 minutes, this guy sits there and argues how it's bad that people are doing this and blah, blah, blah. So, okay, should I keep it going?
Oh, you're hedging. I guess that would make sense. Yeah, let's keep going.
And that's the issue. It's like, because the rules are changing underfoot, people don't like them.
No, you're not.
Now, I'm not saying that there can't be better regulation, okay, and there can't be tighter rules. I get all of that. But what I am saying is that you have to be cognizant that we are moving to a world where normal, ordinary folks have now access to all the same information as institutional organized capital. And they will come to many of the same conclusions.
We now have access for the first time
oftentimes
ever.
Faster,
yeah,
and sometimes to the opposite conclusions. And sometimes at the same time, sometimes faster.
Okay.
You will see more volatility like this in the future.
I want to see...
Solution, hold on a second. The solution to this is more transparency on the institutional side, not less access and ability for retail.
Dude, how much did he nail that? See, because oh, go on.
He's basically going to say, I want you to justify the price of GameStop.
Yeah, don't worry about that, buddy.
Bloomberg terminal. You're right.
But because
by the time you get that, it's already really outdated compared to what these guys are seeing.
Because these guys are, the whole point this dude is trying to make, this reporter, is he keeps basically saying, like, I don't know if we should let these people be able to do this.
Wrong. He's basically saying they don't know enough to make this decision.
Yeah, well, tell that to the price of GameStop.
Yep. And he keeps saying that. He'll say, I don't know, we're kind of skimming through this, but he says GameStop isn't worth this much. It's worth it. And he says, no, it's not. It's worth $350 because that's what people are paying for it. Who are you? Who the hell do you think you are to say what this is worth? And he makes this face. And
right. They all want to pretend like they know what is the truth. And it pisses me off.
Yep. So we're at 23. Play this out for a little bit more.
Let's see the white papers
24
on all of these companies that are flying, and all of the deep fundamental research that suggests that all of these stocks, and there are way more than one. This is not one stock.
It doesn't matter, dude.
Okay? There
doesn't
are a
matter.
lot that
for
are
whose judgment?
fundamentally challenged in this environment, right?
I'm sorry, but how? For example, if we went back to Herbalife, were you supposed to adjudicate that and decide that one short thesis was better than one long thesis? Who are you to judge?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't my job.
Well, whose job then? A regulator's job before they can put the trade on? What are you saying?
It's the buyer's
job.
Don't
come here and tell me that you're suggesting that all of these stocks.
Right. It's the buyer's job. It's a free market. Everyone can decide what it's worth.
Don't come in here and tell me.
Unreal, dude.
Play this out for a little bit
more. Are up because they're fundamentally in that place.
I'm saying you and I both know that there's a massive distribution of reasons why people buy and sell securities. There's some that are purely value oriented about backwards looking discounted cash flows.
So then he goes to commercial, and you could tell he doesn't know what the fuck to do because this gets pretty heated. I tried to highlight some of the heated spots, but I missed it. But they have a short that, like, a guy that shorted this that supposedly is a big investor call in too to try to debate him. But
really?
Go to 29 minutes.
Okay.
You'll go to 28. Just go a little bit before so we can kind of see the lead up.
To compute resources, you could be a kid sitting at home writing models into Google Cloud that give you the same compute power as the best hedge fund, as the best investment bank. And this is what I'm trying to get across to you guys, is we are leveling the playing field. It is happening. And so there are a lot of people as compelling and as smart as John that you guys don't know about that are just behind a screen.
John's a short seller.
And I think that's okay. And I think we just have to embrace the fact that this is where we're going.
Sure. I think we also need to be cognizant, though, and I
you want to see his one-pager, by the way? Are you going to hold John's hand and make sure that,
so pause it real quick.
The street? Is that what?
So he asked Seamuth earlier, he said, I want to see your one page. I want to see Wall Street Bet's one page on why they think this is going up. So then he brings the short seller on who short sold it, and he, of course, didn't ask to see his one page. That's what he's saying right
Why
now.
should it go down?
Yeah.
And
then
play
it again, but that's basically what he's saying.
Dude,
you gonna ask John for his one page?
That's kind of the whole point of all of this is like.
And that's what he's gonna say pretty good here. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Because who gets to decide what is true? Yeah. Well, guess what? It's each individual person is the answer.
Because John, because unlike you, John didn't suggest otherwise, that there were fundamentals involved. He didn't, right? So I don't need a one-pager. That's part of my point. But that's what we need to do.
So what are you, the free speech police now too? I mean, come on, Scott. Like, what are you saying?
I mean, that sounds funny, and I'm sure that'll play well on Twitter. But I don't know what does that mean. I mean, I'm saying that clearly we're in a moment of time in the market. Okay. Where fundamentals for some stocks obviously don't matter, okay? Nobody, I don't care who they are, is going to come here and tell.
Fundamentals for every goddamn stock right now doesn't matter. You're telling me Disney's worth 3 times as much as it was before COVID, even though they haven't been open and they haven't been shooting new shitty movies? You're telling me that Amazon's worth 3 times as much as it was? You're telling me that Facebook is worth 3 times as much as it was? Right. I mean, those are bad examples because those don't. Disney's not, but those don't. The pandemic probably does drive those up. But there are so many companies right now that, like the cruise lines. The cruise lines are worth more now than they were pre-pandemic.
You telling me that GameStop? You telling me GameStop should have been shorted 140% when it was at $20?
Yeah.
Was that fundamentally pure?
Yeah. Yes.
Get rid of that nonsense. I'm so sick of listening to the experts. Yeah. Experts don't know anything more than, no one has a monopoly on the truth. That's what I'm trying to say. Yep. And anyone who claiming to, and then also claiming that what other people say needs to be silenced.
Yes.
I think you should be very suspicious of those people,
Tell me that the fundamentals are behind a lot of the moves in these stocks. They're just not, okay? Period, end of story. They're just not. It's a moment in time. Some say this is emblematic of the. Some say this is emblematic. Hang on. Some say this is emblematic of a bubble. Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm concerned about people getting hurt in what may end up being a part of the market that's in a bubble.
Right.
Yeah, he cares about you.
When stocks trade down, okay, in moments of dislocation. I don't know if over the last 3 or 4 years you guys can throw up a chart, but there are times where you'd see tip-to-tail drawdowns of 5, 10, 15% over the course of days and weeks. What are we supposed to do in those situations? Just stop the market so that it can't go down?
No, but this is
just like you can't stop the market from going up.
This is a unique.
Nokia was halted 6 times today, one for half an hour.
You're getting into trying to judge, and my point is, you can't judge, so don't try. Okay? You have to understand and believe that there is so much information out there that people can be on a level playing field. And that the most important thing
people are going to be afraid to short
is shine the light
into the
corner of the market that is still opaque. And there is only one area. Companies are forced to publish every single thing about themselves transparently every quarter.
All right, go to 32 minutes.
Publish their positions every day.
This one's just a cool part. It's not about the stock.
Retail
really cool.
This may be the story of 2021. We shall see. It's a long year, and it's early. Last but not least, because I don't want to leave this out, and Kara Swisher would be mad at me if I did, the governor thing.
Sweet. Nice.
Is that real? You really want to be the governor of California?
I mean, I love shorting. I don't like it when it's done
like
what I would say. Melvin Capital.
Yeah. I have nothing against shorting. Anyone can short whatever they want.
I've done it a lot.
When they lose money, I don't want to hear them cry and try to change the rules.
I took out a put on Disney before earnings, and I lost 100% of that because they missed earnings and it fucking flew for some reason.
Well,
I lost.
The SEC should have paused Disney partway through that, Garrett, and saved you.
I think Gavin Newsom has done a terrible job. I think that people are leaving in droves. Crime is really high. Our education outcomes are the worst of any state. Our taxes are the highest of any state. Our air quality is the worst of any state. And so this is a state that I think is just so absolutely incredible, but right now is being run off the rails. And to the extent that we can recall him, and to the extent that my agenda, which I just tweeted out and explained, resonates with people, 0 state taxes, a minimum teacher salary of $70K, school vouchers so that you have school choice, $2,000 for every kid born in California, I think you would see a renaissance in California that would be glorious. So that's what I'm willing to say.
He's got my vote.
So after careful thought, the Nate Garrett Show decided we are endorsing Seamus for governor.
That's right. He's got our backing. Yeah. So the word is out that the Nate and Garrett Show supporting Seamus for governor of California. I'm sure he's going to really appreciate that.
It's kind of funny. Newsom is like, it looks like he might be chance of being recalled.
I said that a couple months ago, or when
opened everything up. It's kind of funny how that worked.
When I first started seeing the big recall movement for Newsom, I was like, wow. And then it was really gaining traction. I thought they might actually recall this evil bastard.
So we really encourage everyone to go and watch this interview. It was fucking great. CNBC.
Yeah, I got to watch the whole thing.
They're trying, like, they'll put just clips of it, and it's put where their host isn't getting destroyed, but they won't put the whole interview up. So people are posting the whole interview, and CNBC is going to those people for copyright ads.
Taking it down.
So they're taking it down. So they're really trying to control the narrative on this, but it's pretty hilarious that this guy just got crushed, essentially.
Yeah.
They get pretty heated some moments there. We tried to highlight that, but I think next show, because we're running out of time, but I think next show we're gonna show this in a little bit more detail. And of course, by next show, we're gonna have way more news about this. GameStop, Nokia, all of these. It's gonna be soup. Tomorrow and Friday are gonna be such fun days to watch the market. I can't wait.
I can't wait to invest.
Put more money in.
Me too.
I don't care if I end up losing it. It's gonna be fun.
Me neither.
I'm gonna try sticking it to the man and hopefully make some money as we go.
You know, if I start losing tomorrow, I'm gonna call the SEC and say, "Hey, pause the market.
Hey.
Quick, close the market. I'm going down."
Man, there was a time where Nokia jumped from like $5.20 to like $10, and they halted it, and it happened in like a half a second. I really do wish I could have been in a parallel universe without that to see where it went. Because my $1,000 investment went to $5,000.
I feel like they completely screwed you today, dude.
Yeah, like I said, it just all that does is makes me want to put more of my disposable income into this. Even if I lose it, I don't care. But like I said, my life is not going to change for the worse if I lose a few $1,000s in this. I don't care. It's going to be fun to jump in on this, stick it to the leads, and hopefully that $10,000, $20,000 turns into way more. But if not, I don't care.
Right.
I lost on the crypto bubble pop. I lost about $35,000 in about 12 hours. This is nothing to me.
Well, dude, do you think the SEC is going to be doing this nonsense over the next 2 days?
Here's the thing. A lot of this, we're seeing the story develop by the end of day Friday already. And I think DZD's right. I mean, I think that these places are going to probably be fine. But I think they're going to ramp up the pressure on the SEC and these companies to do stuff. I just don't think they can. I mean, they shut down Wall Street Bets.
They shouldn't be able to.
They're going to have the Michael Scott Paper Company problem. They'll have a Wall Street Bets 2, a Wall Street Bets 3. They shut down Reddit. Well, then you go to 4chan. What are they going to do? Shut down 4chan? Then you go to 8chan. I mean, there's just two. The knowledge is out there now.
But what about the pausing of stock trading?
They could do that, but fine. Then we just all decide that when they do that, we throw more money in. Usually, I mean, look at game. The bad thing when they pause trading, it does slow it down. It does. People get scared, and it's becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. People are like, "Oh, God damn it!" They paused, they halted trading. It's going to go down. I mean, I had a friend that did it. I had a friend today that texted me saying, "Oh, sweet, I sold 1,000 shares of Nokia at $7.50, and we saw it drop to $6, but then it went back up to $8." I said, "Well, are you going to buy back now?" But it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy where when they halt, people get scared.
Yeah.
But if not, who knows what $10 would have went to? Nokia is a little bit different than these other ones. Nokia is, I think, a healthier company than GameStop and BlackBerry and all of them. They're kind of flush with cash. Their market cap is higher. So people don't know, if your market cap's $15 billion, it takes a lot more money to move that than if your market cap is $500 million. It's harder. And there's just not as much short. I mean, if we went and looked at the short of Nokia was just kind of becoming a meme at Wall Street bets at the right time. But it seems to be a good long. Like, I'm not long on GameStop. I think a year from now, GameStop's not going to be sitting anywhere near 350. But I think a year from now, I think Nokia stock could be way above $7 or whatever the hell it's at right now. So I think that one's a little bit different.
Okay.
After hours, all these were dropped. And this is before the Wall Street bets fiasco of the Discord getting banned and all of them dropping. But those other meme stocks were down after hours, and Nokia was up a bit. But I don't think Nokia is going to be as fun to hold as it could be to hold these other ones. So I'm going to put money in BlackBerry. If GameStop's under 300, I'm going to put some there. And I'm just knowing that I probably won't see that money again, but it's going to be a fun ride.
Well, tomorrow I'm going to invest in these two also. But which one between AMC and Nokia?
BlackBerry didn't move. I would stay away from AMC probably for right now. It went up 300% or something.
Yeah, I know, but it might go up to $1,000 or something.
I mean, the market cap is still low. BlackBerry is the one I'm kind of looking at. It was $12 like 4 days ago, and now it's 22. But it also hadn't shot up like some of these other meme stocks have. So I think that might not be a bad one to stake your claim in.
And
GameStop's just a hard one because it's just so high right now.
I know. I feel like I missed the boat on GameStop, but I also feel like GameStop's going to triple in price.
We're not going to see a new meme stock for a while. Because there's so much spam right now in Wall Street bets. They're going to have to wait for that pendulum to swing a little bit and the activity to calm down.
That's why I want to jump on this meme stock tidal wave right now.
DZD's bringing a really good point. The brokers are stopping their customers from trading. And I hope everyone leaves them. I hope they get pounded in the ass for doing that.
That is unbelievable. Yeah. That's like a bank account telling me they won't give me my money.
And circuit breakers, what we're talking about. Nokia had like 3 or 4 circuit breakers. Like, they had a circuit breaker. You're holding for 5 minutes. It was open for about 10 seconds, and it triggered another one. It was open for another 20 seconds, and it triggered another one.
How can they
just
do
because
that?
It started so low, it's just triggering over and over.
The
good news is that now is the price is a little bit higher, so it'll be a little bit harder to trigger because it does it by percent. But yeah, it's bullshit.
Really, it really is.
And he's right. That is rigged against the small investor, and these guys hate to see the small investor doing good, really.
Well, I think it's a super interesting week we're having here, and I can't wait for Friday.
Can't wait for the story. We might have to go live tomorrow again and just do an update on this.
I was thinking that too, man.
And we should do it Friday again to do an update on that. We could show more of the Seamus interview, and I'm sure tomorrow is going to be a crazy day. It's going to be a fun one, but
yeah, I'd like to talk about my investments tomorrow. I'm going to invest a few $100s and stuff like that.
I was late to this, but I put $1,000 in, but it went up to $5,000, $6,000 in like an hour. It's pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm moving more money over, and I'm going to put more in. Like I said, if I lose, I don't care. It'll be fun.
Right. If I lose, I don't expect to be bailed out by the taxpayers. I'll just, continue on.
So guys, tomorrow at the same time, come join us. We'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
We'll laugh at the big wigs because they're hopefully going to lose a lot of money, and we'll
this was a great show.
Some Rolex watches. Do you think we could play them out on just to get some sort of conspiracy in? We could do the new alien video I sent you.
Oh, okay.
You want to do that? It's a quick 2-minute one.
So we'll do this to wrap up the show.
Yeah, we'll wrap up the show with this one. It's a funny one. To give a quick what this is. Okay. This guy claims to be able to talk, and thanks, you too. Hey, DZD, are you in these? Are you in any of these meme stocks? If not, are you planning on it?
Yeah, good question.
Because I'd be real interested to know. And when you said you shorted the mini Dow futures, did you actually short them, or did you take out a put? I'm guessing short, but I know some of my friends that are less good at the markets kind of call putting shorting too. But so this guy calls into the station and basically says, I could summon UFOs whenever I want.
I remember this happening. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Nokia is the only one I'm into, and I wish I would have bought more, of course, but.
Dude, I remember this, and it worked. This is going to be awesome. I haven't seen this video yet, but
it's funny.
This is going to be super, super interesting.
Yeah, but please subscribe, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk more stocks, more sticking it to the man.
Yeah.
This is a fun show.
All right, he says he can also do this on command, and he adds he's been doing written in Hebrew, taught him how to summon UFOs. All right, he says he can also do this on command, and he adds he's been doing it for 25 years, keeping all of it secret until now.
These beings are here. They are here. They're just sitting right up there.
We met up with Prophet Yahweh, seer of Yahweh.
This is so weird. I remember this video.
I think we missed it, but he said that Old Testament showed him how to do this.
Everyone's going to think you're absolutely nuts.
Well, I thought I was absolutely nuts.
Until he says he saw UFOs. Over the years, 1,500 of them.
Can we make it 1,501 today? What do you think?
I'll try it.
He says the voice in his head told him to go public now, so we took him up on his offer.
We need to get this guy on the show.
Nothing but a few clouds. When the prophet started praying for a sighting, I wasn't
They
exactly
said earlier
convinced.
that they picked the space, they picked the time, and they didn't tell him ahead. So they basically went to a random location.
Okay. So he's going to summon a UFO now, right?
So summon a UFO.
Sighting, so that they know that I am not mentally ill. I am not a false prophet, like those who seek to kill me say I am.
I think something
Those seek to kill me. That's a great prayer.
Brother, look at it. There it is.
You can barely see it, a white speck. Then another sighting.
There it is. I got it.
What the fuck?
Photojournalist Jonathan Hawkins locks in on it. Let's take a closer look here. It's an orange sphere that appeared out of nowhere. I call the boss with an unexpected
crack party.
Hey, we had we're gonna send you a message. We got banned, of course.
Yeah, they banned our other YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been good.
Show on stocks.
Hope you've been well too, man.
Yeah, we've been missing you. We had to do a few shows, but
we say
a new channel for now.
Yeah, we say like every show that we're gonna start doing a schedule and things like that, and we still plan to. We just.
I think for sure we got to go live tomorrow, even if it is to laugh about our losses.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'd love to. Probably 10 o'clock tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, let's keep playing this.
In fact, it's bright.
I can't believe this.
It's moving pretty fast.
It's going to Nellis Air Force Base. It wants to be seen.
We called Nellis to see what these things might be. Guess what? They didn't call us back. But this thing started coming back toward us.
It's coming toward us now, I think.
What?
See, it's coming up toward us.
Whoa, man! Oh, hallelujah!
Then, a few seconds later,
what the
it
heck?
disappeared.
It's going back up in space.
Prophet Yahweh isn't concerned. He says it'll be back.
How great is that?
That is crazy, dude. That's
he
really
called
great.
his boss and was like, "Well, we're taking this because they kind of brought him on here almost to embarrass the guy, and then he finds something."
Yeah, the UFO actually showed up. I guess.
That's like my favorite UFO video.
It's hard to argue with that if you're the,
Yeah.
That's really great. I'm gonna look more into that. We gotta call this Yahweh guy or whatever the prophet's name is there. Well, Garrett, should we call it? Yeah, this was a great
we'll see everyone tomorrow at 10 Central. 10 Central.
Thanks for tuning in.
Subscribe. DJD, thanks again. Crack Party, nice seeing you again.
Yeah, thanks, fellas.
Mom, if you're listening, happy birthday.
Hey, yeah, happy birthday, Mrs. Mac. All right. Peace.
Yeah, had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. Truth bombs that many never knew. We talking politics, everything up to the moon. Was the landing real or fake? I guess you'll never know. Let's talk, this is the Nate and Garrett Show, yeah. So lend me your ear, let's get it poppin'. You know that we keep it live, non-stopping. Educating, entertain, there ain't no doubt. After you listen, you'll be thinking way outside the box. From media dishonesty, never let them play you. Keep it authentic nowadays, many can't do. Unfiltered is how we do it. Make sure you stay locked in and tuned in, let's go. Had to come through and let you know. Keep it locked, this is the Nate and Garrett Show. Talking current events, let the conversation begin. Everything from conspiracies, yeah, I'm talking aliens. The Nate and Garrett Show.